Hello and welcome to a special edition of the In the Money Players podcast. We're going to be looking at a plethora of graded stakes races at Woodbine on Saturday. Huge Breeders' Cup implications. We've got 3 Breeders' Cup winning your in races. We have a 4th grade one just for the fun of it. These fields came up pretty competitive, pretty fun. And I'm here with Jonathan Kinchin to go over them all. You ready for this big day of racing in the Great White North, my friend?
Ready as I can be.
We do have, if you see Mark Casse, kick him in the shins for me. No, I'm kidding. We would never advocate, doing anything like that. But he has 6 horses cross-entered in the juvenile races, which makes them a little bit tricky to fully evaluate at this stage. But the thing is, we've got some foreign invaders in these races who Mark Casse might put in another 6 and still not win against a couple of these beasts. That's how I see it anyway. We'll get into the specifics of the opinions right now, starting with race number 5, the Grade 1 Natalma 2-year-old fillies going a mile on the turf. JK, where's your eye drawn in here? I mean, or I can just give you the spoil alert. I mean, Charlie Appleby and Godolphin seem to send one in every year here that goes off at odds on and wins. I'm not sure it's going to be any different. That's my hand tip to where I'm going.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at Mark Casse at all because I don't care who he's got in here. I think the winner comes from one of 2 places. I think the one Anna's Call is interesting for Christophe Clement. Showed a bunch of talent, drawn towards the inside with Frankie. Is definitely one that I would consider. But this is going to be the theme. I'm going to go ahead and give it to you now. Charlie Appleby in graded stakes in this country in the last 5 years on the turf, it's like 37%. And if that number isn't impressive enough, how about this one? He's 8 for 10 at Woodbine, 80% in graded stakes on the turf. But guess what? When I hit graded stakes on the turf and I saw 8 for 10, I was like, wow, that's impressive. But how many of those were grade 1s? All 8 of them. He's 8 for 10 in grade 1s at Woodbine. Give me Mountain Breeze in here towards the outside. I think this horse is going to be tough to beat.
12-1 for you to kick things off. You do want to give a
13.
Oh, it's 13. Oh, thank you for that save. That would have been very bad for our In the Money Plus notes people. Gee, what does JK see about this 20-1 chat? So you do want Anna's Call listed in the picks as well.
Yeah, this is a B horse.
Okay, excellent. So yeah, for me, it'll be taking a shot with Mountain Breeze to continue, basically just betting on the boys in blue to do boys in blue things with Appleby at the helm. And many of those 8 were ridden by the very same William Buick. I think Dettori had 3 and Buick did have the 2 that didn't win, but they both hit the board as well. Anyway, a lot of arrows pointing to Mountain Breeze. I mean, really, this form is strong. And on pedigree, one that looks like will be very suited to American racing, and you just can't question any of the calls they've been making in terms of bringing the right ones over who are going to enjoy the USA way of racing. Let's pivot to race number 6, the Ontario Matron. We're on synthetic here, a rare PTF and JK doing a synth race on YouTube. We get these fillies and mares going a mile on the 16th on the synth with a giant full field. JK, who's going to win it?
Yeah, I'm looking towards the middle of this field with 2 horses, the 8 and the 9, the 8 Fashionably Fab and the 9 Solo Album. We'll go with the 8 first, Fashionably Fab, who I thought ran just fine last time on the turf, but it's the 2 synthetic races prior to that I thought were pretty impressive. Back on June 1st, that was impressive. They can duplicate that number. These horses are going to be in for a tough run. And the 9 Solo Album, I think Frankie Dettori on the front end is one of the most dangerous riders in this country. Okay. And the reason I feel that way is because Frankie he kind of learned, he's done most of his dirty work in turf racing. He has a great internal clock for how fast he's traveling and when a horse is comfortable. Fractions aren't nearly the big deal that they are in this country that they are overseas. And I think that because of that, when he can find himself forward or on the front end, I think he's dangerous. I think Solo Album projects to make the lead in here or at least be forward. Those are the only 2 I need in a full field. While there's a lot of different interesting horses, just give me those 2, the 8 and the 9. The 9 will be my top choice.
All right. Okay, that's interesting. I was thinking there was more speed than I think I think we have a different idea of the pace in here. I was worried on pace figures if Solo Album would be able to get into that position with so many speedy types. And I wanted to look for closers, and I landed on the same one that is your second pick. That's the 8 Fashionably Fab. It's just a question of race design and getting back onto the right circuit. That was a wire winner in the Canadian on turf. There can be more differences than are appreciated sometimes between some people treat synth and turf like they're exactly the same. They're not. I think Fashionably Fab is going to be seen to great effect in this spot. The 11 Forever Dixie going to have to work out a trip, but very similar angle, getting back on the right surface, and one that was closing into blue fractions back in the Trillium 2 back, one that I wanted on tickets as well. 8 and 11 for me in race number 6. While we have a second here before we get into the grade 1 action, want to encourage everybody watching to go ahead and subscribe to the In the Money Media YouTube channel. We've made a huge growth in subscribers this year, but we're still not where we want to be. If everybody watching this video would just go and subscribe now, click that notification bell, you'll never miss any of our YouTube exclusive content. And while you're over there, make sure you subscribe to the Breeders' Cup YouTube channel as well, because you'll get first look at things like our Horse Players Happy Hour shows that happen every Thursday, as well as Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge Diaries. If you know my work, think of my old DRF column, but completely Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge centric and as a video. That's BCBC Diaries. We've been making some nice inroads with that this year. Race number 7 at Woodbine on this Saturday card is the Grade 1 EP Taylor. Moved up from its old spot, moved up about 3 weeks now, being on this big day. And, it's the old saying, short on numbers, long on talent, this 6-pack of a field. I love Moira. I think she's going to get a great trip in here. The 7 to 5 of the morning line would be a little skinny for me. I'm not going to lie. I'm still going to make her my top pick. I like her a lot, but I'm not sleeping at all on number 1, Blush. This is a horse who comes here with a trio of victories, the last one being a Group 3 that would, play pretty well with the class of this race, in my opinion. Has just bits of form throughout her PPs that make me think she's going to handle USA conditions. I'm mostly 2-1. I respect Cinderella's Dream, but I wonder if this is one where the Appleby factor gets her a little bit over bet relative to what I think her chances are in a race where I think all 6 can honestly win. JK, who do you like in here?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 6 on top, Cinderella's Dream, and I'll use the 1 as well. I'm going to go with the 3-year-olds, and I don't care about the 4-pound weight break. It's a Snickers in the pocket of a human. But I do feel like these horses have a little bit more upside, right? They can continue to improve. They're 3. And they're right in the midst of their year where they're going to continue to kind of take steps forward, to grow up a little bit, to grow, get bigger, get stronger, get faster. We know who Moira is. We know who Fevrover is. And while they're really good, they're short prices, and these other horses could be progressing. So give me the 6, Cinderella's Dream on top as an A-type. I'll also use the 1, Blush as an A-type, as a progressive 3-year-old getting into this country. But those are the top 2 I'm going to try to beat those other horses with. A majority of what I'm trying to do in this race is beat those other 2 horses. From a multi-race standpoint, I'm not going to try to get crazy and try to beat those horses. I'll use them equally and try to flex on some other opinions elsewhere to be able to make the ticket make sense going 4 deep in a spot like this.
I feel like you can really split Moira and Fev, but maybe that's accounted for in the prices they'll be. I just feel like if Fevrover wasn't going to beat Moira last time, like when's she going to beat her? I just think this sets up so much better for Moira. I have too much respect for her. I do worry about her maybe being a little overbet, as I do with Cinderella's Dream. I'll probably find some tickets in some ways to, I probably have a trifecta in here, honestly, with those 3. I do feel like there's separation between the 1, 2, and the 6 and the other runners in this field. Let's move on. We'll skip the 8th, which is an allowance, and we'll get right back to Grade 1 company in the summer stakes for these 2-year-olds. We have more foreign participation here. We've got an Andrew Balding runner for our friends at Qatar Racing, but I think most eyes are going to be drawn to Al Qudra, JK, this runner who was so impressive last time, going the 7 furlongs at Ascot, and just looks like one for whom more is sure to come. 3-1 morning line, I think 4 to 5 might be more like it.
This is another reason why the Mark Casse cross entering is not going to be a problem for me. I'm going to go with the 10 New Century. That race 2 back where Alcudra won, New Century is right behind. New Century has then come back and won. These are young horses. They're progressive horses. You can't just say because New Century lost to the 9 previously that that's just what it is. I'm going to take a much better price on the 10, hoping that they take a step forward, hoping that North American racing might suit New Century better. You get O.C. Murray. You get the boys in the claret and gold. Give me the 10 New Century as the top choice as an A. I'll use the 9 as a B horse as well. But it's going to be those 2 Europeans for me to try to get this one.
You changed O'Sheen's last name to Murray.
I said Murray. I meant to say Murphy. Maybe it's because I was looking outside and I saw Murray Hill and I panicked.
Normally I let that stuff slide, but once in a while it's fun to got to keep everybody honest, and it's funny. Let's go to the race that gives the day its name, my friend. Race number 10 is the Woodbine Mile. Naval Power, the boys in blue, representative here, and once again they hold an awfully strong hand. The form of this one's 2 runs this year just looks to me simply better than what these others have done. Big Rock for that huge win at Ascot last year. Switch Barnes looks to have gone the wrong way. I don't think USA conditions are particularly going to suit this one. Let that one catch some money. Let a very talented runner in Filo Di Arianna take some money. Give me Naval Power all day, twice on Sunday. I think they're going to win this race for the 3rd year in a row. Do you disagree?
No, that's all I need is Naval Power. I mean, I think if you look at what happened in the Turf Classic on Derby Day, it took a perfect trip from program trading to beat Naval Power. You look at what Naval Power did, was second to Master of the Seas, who isn't in this race, and obviously for reasons, but if he was, would be a very short price. And I just feel like Naval Power is just better than these. I could try to get cute elsewhere. The only thing I would probably use is the 1 Play Me a Tune as a backup horse, as a B type, drawn towards the inside with some tactical speed. Johnny Velasquez, Josie Carroll. Has a nice couple of numbers on the synthetic, getting on the grass for the first time. But I think it's at least interesting as an alternative, but I don't need anybody else except for Naval Power.
I did write nice things about Play Me a Tune in the write-up I did for attheraces.com. Folks looking for more information about this Woodbine card should definitely check out attheraces.com. I'll have full write-ups horse by horse of the Woodbine Mile and the Taylor. We're also going to have a ton of extra coverage, including a little final answers stakes piece from me. I might do some betting strategies, etc., after the scratches on Saturday. But inthemoneypodcast.com, just in general, is a tremendous place to go for free picks and analysis all year long. Dean Kepler in Southern California, Nick Tamaro in New York in particular, very popular. Eric Solomon does a great job over there. Will Humphrey does a great job for us. Michael Domabal, Eric DeCoster. The list goes on and on. Definitely check it out. Lots of free good stuff over at inthemoneypodcast.com. One piece of bonus coverage here. One more graded stake. Race number 11, the grade 3 Vigil. Patches O'Houlihan, JK. Will the legend continue? Just hung on grimly back on the plate day in the Bold Venture Stakes, but I think is ready to just continue to show why the others need to bend the knee to Patches O'Houlihan, the king of this synthetic sprinting division up north and a true Canadian legend. You think they can beat him on this day?
No, I think he's going to be tough. He's definitely an A-type for me. I'm going to use one horse. I'm going to use I'm a Gambler, who I thought since moving to Kevin Attard's barn has run well and has run, ran a lifetime best last time, 2 Patches O'Houlihan. It wasn't too far away from him. So I think as an alternative as a B-type, I would definitely use the 3. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough to try to get around the 7 old Patches here, who's 8 for 9 at Woodbine.
Any truth to the rumor that I'm a Gambler is a hunch play for you?
I think it's a hunch play for anybody watching.
Or listening, as the case may be. Good stuff, JK. Thank you very much. Folks interested in more coverage from the weekend, make sure to look us up over at inthemoneypodcast.com, wherever you get your podcasts. Or if you're listening to this on our feed already, just stay tuned and we'll be back after a word from our sponsors.